As Rory McIlroy's putt on the 18th green at Pinehurst slid agonizingly past the hole, the collective gasp from the gallery told a story far beyond a simple missed shot. This wasn't just another golfer having a bad day. This was the reminder of how the relentless pursuit of perfection can become a golfer's worst enemy. The 2024 US Open will be remembered not for Bryson DeChambeau's eventual victory, but for McIlroy's stunning collapse. As he hurriedly boarded his private jet, fleeing the scene of his latest heartbreak, the golf world was left to ponder a perplexing question. How did one of the sport's most gifted players find himself in this position? To truly understand the magnitude of McIlroy's meltdown, we need to place it in the pantheon of golf's greatest collapses. Jean Van de Velde's infamous wade into the Barry burn at Carnoustie in 1999, Greg Norman's final round implosion at the 1996 Masters, and even Mito Pereira's last hole disaster at the 2022 PGA Championship all come to mind. But McIlroy's loss feels different, more profound. Why? Because he's Rory McIlroy, a once-in-a-generation talent who at his best makes the game look effortless. McIlroy was in vintage form, his putter hotter than a Carolina summer. He had erased a 3-shot deficit, surging past DeChambeau with a string of birdies that had the gallery in a frenzy. Everything was clicking, his driving was laser precise, his iron play impeccable, his short game sharp. This was the Rory we all knew and loved, the one who could bring even the toughest courses to their knees. In 13 holes, courtesy of 4 birdies and 5 holes from the 9th, he had transformed a 3-shot deficit into a seemingly decisive advantage. The Dr. Jekyll of DeChambeau's game was just about suppressing Mr. Hyde, but it was McIlroy who looked unstoppable. But then, as if a switch had been flipped, it all unraveled. A missed 30-inch putt on the 16th, another crucial miss on the 18th. For a player who hadn't missed a single 3-footer in 496 attempts all year, to falter twice in the most critical moments defies statistical probability. It wasn't a technical flaw, it was a window into the immense pressure McIlroy places on himself. Now you might be thinking, come on, it's just golf. He's a millionaire, how bad can it be? But that's where McIlroy's story takes an interesting turn. Rory isn't just playing for money or fame. He's chasing something far more elusive: perfection. McIlroy often quotes Marcus Aurelius and calls himself a stoic. Love your fate, he's been known to say, but even the most ardent follower of stoicism would struggle to find peace in such a crushing defeat. Golf, as McIlroy has learned time and time again, can be cruelly ironic. One moment you're basking in the adoration of thousands chanting your name, the next you're met with a deafening silence of pity and shock. But to truly understand McIlroy's obsession with perfection, we need to look beyond the greens and fairways. A highly publicized month-long divorce filing in Florida court, followed by a reconciliation with his wife of 7 years, Erica, all played out under the unforgiving glare of the media spotlight. The ring remained off his finger throughout the tournament at Pinehurst, silent evidence of the turmoil in his personal life. In addition to that, his involvement in the contentious PGA Tour of LIV golf negotiations contributed to his mental exhaustion. McIlroy had stepped away from his position on the tour's policy board last November, but found himself drawn back into the fray as the poster boy for a potential deal with the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund. It's a role that has taken its toll both emotionally and mentally. Despite these distractions, or perhaps because of them, McIlroy has doubled down on his pursuit of golfing excellence. His fitness transformation is proof of this obsession. Gone is the skinny teenager who burst onto the scene. In his place stands a finely tuned athlete, the product of grueling 90-minute workouts 5 days a week. This transformation began in 2010 when a back injury served as a wake-up call. Warned by doctors that he could jeopardize his career if he didn't take better care of himself, McIlroy started a fitness journey that would reshape not just his body, but his entire approach to the game. Working with fitness guru Dr. Stephen McGregor, a former consultant for the British Olympic team, McIlroy has added 20 pounds of muscle, dropping his body fat percentage from 24% to a lean 10%. His workout regimen includes deadlifts, pull-ups, planks, lunges, and medicine ball throws. But McIlroy's perfectionism extends beyond just physical fitness. He's meticulous about balancing the strength and stability of his right and left sides, using single arm and single leg exercises to achieve perfect symmetry. His training follows a structured progression, starting with flexibility and mobility, and then building stability, strength, and power. Even his approach to nutrition and recovery is calculated, adhering to the mantra that to be a top-class athlete, you have to train hard, you have to eat right, you have to get enough rest. This obsession with physical perfection has undoubtedly improved McIlroy's game in many ways. His driving distance has increased, his stamina on the course has improved, and he's been able to maintain a high level of play consistently throughout the season. But at what cost? McIlroy's last major victory was a decade ago, a drought that weighs heavily on his shoulders. He's not just competing against the field, he's racing against history, trying to catch up to legends like Seve Ballesteros and Nick Faldo on the all-time majors list. It's a pressure cooker of expectations, one that seems to intensify with each passing tournament. Even his putting coach, Brad Faxon, publicly wondered how McIlroy would get through this. It's a question that resonates beyond just this one tournament. How does a player of McIlroy's caliber reconcile his immense talent with the crushing weight of unfulfilled potential? The media's obsession with McIlroy only adds fuel to this fire. He's asked about nearly twice as often as Tiger Woods in player interviews. Every swing, every putt, every facial expression is analyzed and reanalyzed. It's a level of scrutiny that would annoy many players. McIlroy is not oblivious to this pressure. He's spoken out about the dangers of the major obsession in golf. He fears it could be damaging the sport, consuming players in a never-ending quest for validation through major victories. It's a stance that seems at odds with his own relentless pursuit of perfection, highlighting the internal struggle he faces. This obsession with majors is not unfounded. McIlroy's career, for all its successes, is often defined by what he hasn't achieved rather than what he has. His early success, setting a new course record on Portrush Golf Club's Dunluce Link at the age of 16, set expectations sky high. When he won his first major at 22, many predicted he would dominate the sport for years to come. But golf, as McIlroy has learned, is not so easily conquered. His major championship failures, while not unique in the sport, seem to carry more weight because of his immense talent. Each near miss, each Sunday collapse adds another layer of scar tissue, another hurdle to overcome mentally the next time he's in contention. The 2024 season had started promisingly for McIlroy. He notched a win at the Wells Fargo Championship and had several other top finishes, including a T3 at the Valero Texas Open and a T4 at the RBC Canadian Open. He seemed poised for a breakthrough at a major. But as the pressure mounted at Pinehurst, old demons resurfaced. The technical brilliance that had carried him through 68 holes deserted him when he needed it most. It wasn't just a loss, it was a public revealing of a man who had spent years building himself into the perfect golfing machine. In the aftermath of the US Open collapse, McIlroy made the decision to take a 3-week break from golf. It's a move supported by PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan and applauded by many in the golfing community. As McIlroy prepares for the upcoming Open Championship at Royal Troon, the question looms large. Can he find a way to harness his perfectionism without letting it destroy him? Can he silence the voices of doubt, the weight of expectations, and simply play the game he loves? The challenge for McIlroy now is not just technical or physical, it's psychological. He needs to find a way to reconcile his pursuit of perfection with the inherent imperfections of golf. It's a sport where even the greatest players miss short putts, where wind and weather can undo the most perfectly executed shots, and where luck often plays a big role. Perhaps the answer lies in accepting these imperfections rather than fighting against them. Maybe McIlroy needs to redefine what success looks like, to find joy in the process rather than fixating solely on the outcome. As he steps onto the first tee at Royal Troon, the world will be watching, wondering if Rory McIlroy can finally make peace with his pursuit of perfection, or if this obsession will continue to be both his greatest strength and his most formidable foe. One thing is certain, his talent is undeniable. He can still play golf, which leaves spectators and fellow competitors in awe, but will he be able to harness that talent without being consumed by the pressure to be perfect? The coming months and years will be crucial. Will McIlroy be able to use this latest setback as a catalyst for change? Can he find a way to channel his perfectionism into positive growth without letting it become a destructive force? Or will the weight of expectations and his own impossibly high standards continue to be his undoing in the moments that matter most? Share your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to like and subscribe to Golf Hub for more videos like this.